Okay, people. So, Prisoner's Daughter is the new film from Catherine Hardwicke, written by Mark Bacci. It is produced by uh, Mariana Grazik, David Haring, Sam Ocken. It's co-produced by Bill Yates, Lachlan Towie, Justin Oberman. It's executive produced by Chris Razium, Jim Reeve, Christine Zhang, Jerry Pass, Guy Moosh, Robert E. Morgan, Christian Mercury, Jay Canna, Razana Kigayan, Jason Doon, Wen Chi Chang, and Mark Bacci. And it's associate produced by Konstantinos Yalaridis. So Nora Kroll Rosenboom and Stephen Light handled the music. Noah Greenberg cinematography. Glenn Scantleberry edits the piece. Fern Castle is on casting. Pele Cudron production design. Marissa Papavario art direction. Set decoration is Leanie Crabtree. Costume design is Mary France. Hair and makeup, we have Aaron Light, Katie Jacobs, Nicole Hawkyard, Haley Dumphy, and Chase Aston. And our cast. Well, people, Kate Beckinsale is Maxine. Her son Ezra is played by Christopher Convery, and Brian Cox is her dad, Max. Her ex is Tyler, played by Tyson Ritter. There is the Vice Principal Adams, played by Angel Parker. We've got Mark Kuba as Hammer, Max's old cellmate. We've then got Hank, played by Ernie Hudson, who is, I think it's Max's boxing coach. Yarrick, played by Yonel Dorelis. Lily, played by Chuti Tu. Cheryl, played by Ellen Renee Prudhunt. Officer Han, played by Maynard Bagan. That's probably it, really. The gist of the film is this. After 12 years in prison, Max is diagnosed with terminal cancer and granted a compassionate release with the condition he resides with his daughter Maxine. With no love lost towards Max, but financially strapped and working multiple jobs to raise her only son, Ezra, she begrudgingly agrees to the conditions as Max seeks one last chance to redeem himself in her eyes. They must contend with his violent past as it comes back to haunt them all. Yeah, that's not really it. Max's past doesn't really come back to haunt them, right? The thing that really haunts them, right, is Maxine's past and her ex Tyler. That's the main issue of the film. And like the cast is good. I think everyone acts fine, right? It seems like workmanlike performances. Uh, there's nothing really standout here, right? It's a film that you kind of want to like, right? Just because everyone that's in it, and you're like, okay, this should be really good, but it just seems to lack substance. I think that's the main thing. It just seems to lack, right? It's an hour and 40 minutes, and it does feel like it's dragging, which I know it might sound harsh, but you know exactly how the film is going to go from the beginning, right? There's nothing new here. Like, we have watched this film thousands of times. I mean, yes, that's hyperbole. It's a little over exaggeration, but you know what I mean? We've seen this story a lot. We've seen it a lot. And that's not a problem because there's different takes on these things, which is all good and fine. But you would like just something, right? Something to set it apart, or just something that really holds it together in a way, right? That doesn't have to be original, but is heartfelt. And we don't, for me anyway, we don't really get that, you know? And I really wanted that. I was really hoping that it would give us this anchor, this emotional, pivot for the film, right? But yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. Right? Like, there's a lot of things that really don't really work. Like Ezra. It's not all the time, but a lot of times the conversations he has with Maxine, his mum, and even Max, don't feel organic, right? Like, he's got this cocky answer, but he doesn't have the swagger for a cocky kid. You know what I mean? It just doesn't seem to work or flow, right? And they're ridiculous conversations. Like, there's a bit where he sees his mum get basically fucked up, but his response is weird considering other things that have happened in the film. It's very peculiar. Very peculiar. Like, we have these other relationships like Max. I think you've got Max and you've got Hank. We don't really know why Hank is still there, right? Because from all accounts, Max was a shit. So why is Hank still there? This is the big thing. Like, the people that supposedly like Max, why? I think you need to set these things up for anyone to really give a fuck about Max, you know? And Maxine, there's a bit where she's trying to find a job, but as far as we're aware, she doesn't have any qualifications. So then to do certain jobs, you're like, is she going to be able to do that job? Like, what is there to be like, oh yeah, she's gonna be cool, she's gonna excel here. Right? There's nothing. I just think there's information that would add substance to these characters because everyone is very one-dimensional. Yeah, just like one-dimensional, and the I think some of the acting drunk or like you're on drugs. Not a lot of people do it very well, and Tyson isn't one of them people, unfortunately. Like, it's not believable. It just feels like it's over the top, you know? And I think that's the problem with the film, just overall. It doesn't feel natural. Like, the conclusion of it all, again, right? There was no, like, you knew what was going to happen, but you're just like, there's so many other ways around this film. And especially with what had just happened, you're just thinking, well, that on its own deals with the situation. But yeah, we get what we got. Look, yeah, it's out on Prime. There's not really a lot of glowing things to reel off here. It's not the worst film I've seen. It's adequate, right? It's adequate. There's a lot of weird shots. Like, there's this shot at the end when we get water fountains, and it was just like, why? Right? Why is this here? Right? There's a kids' party. It's not a load of kids, but there's a few. And you'd think, okay, you need at least you would need two pizzas. Two pizzas. There's one pizza for all these kids. And you're like, I don't know if everyone's even gonna get a slice. Right? I don't know if everyone's even gonna get a slice. And most places have some sort of 2-for-1 deal. Right? So you'd think there'd at least be two fucking pizzas. Just one to feed all those kids. It was one of the worst parties I've ever seen. Oh my god. Yo. You know what I mean? Oh man. Yeah, just again, it was just one of those things that really doesn't kind of that's the problem, right? It just felt half-assed. So you're watching and you can't immerse yourself in this just because like we're not getting enough from this film. But listen, it's on Prime, you know. So yeah, look, I think Hardwick, Lord of Dogtown, really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. The other stuff, not as much. But maybe if you're a fan of all the other stuff, which I feel, yeah, for me, you know, it's probably along the lines of Prisoner's Daughter. So if you like that, then maybe you're like Prisoner's Daughter. I don't know, people. I don't know. Yeah. We've seen all the cast in better films. So you'll have to make up your own mind if you want to go and watch this one, I'm afraid, people, because boy, I can't tell you to go do it. Can't. So yeah, Prisoner's Daughter. It's out now.